microphones on mute while you're jumping on. But yeah, if there's anyone there who'd like to ask, Nav, I know that you've just started real estate. You've only been in it for a couple of months. This will be your first official training session, I believe. Virtual. So it could be on the phone. He's probably making prospecting calls. This young gentleman's going to be one to watch, I believe.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, I just wasn't sure if I was allowed to speak.
Yeah, absolutely, Nav. This is going to be an interactive session, well, within reason, obviously. If I get someone to try and steal the show, then I'll shut them down.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I've been doing it for about 3 weeks now, so definitely a big change.
Well, that's as brand new in real estate as you possibly can. Yeah. So this will be a great session, Nav. So I guess you don't know what you don't know when you first start real estate. And one thing you will find out, there are just so many moving parts. But if I can just say one thing to all the beginners in real estate, it's like driving a car. When you first start driving a car, you've got to learn everything. Your reflexes, your head movements, when to look in the rearview mirror, the whole lot. And then over a period of time, you practice and you practice and you practice, and then it becomes automatic. And that's the whole goal. That's a whole goal of real estate, finding out exactly how do you get yourself into the groove to make sure that you're driving your real estate career just like you're driving your car. It becomes automatic and there's flow. You're not wasting energy on thinking. And I'm really excited about today's session because today's session is about uncovering the absolute fundamentals and the basics of real estate to make sure that you not only get yourself on track, but to be able to keep yourself on track. It would have to be one of my favorite sessions to do, especially to brand new people, because I think for those people who are totally brand new, I think the workbooks and the content we're going to deliver, whilst it's only 2 hours, I think it's going to give you an unbelievable framework to actually kickstart your real estate career. But for those people from obviously the Black Salt movement, from past sessions who attended Black Salt in May, what is it you want to get out of today? Just give me a few 1, 2, 3 pointers that you'd love to get out of today. Where you're struggling, team. Anyone?
Feel free to put it in the chat as well, I guess, and we can read them out. I reckon you might have to just name someone, Manos.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask you. What's your best advice to give to someone if they were to start real estate from their very first week, month? E.g., what advice would you give to Navarone who started with Cattell Property Group on the Hunter Valley region?
Yeah, I was going to say there's two different, obviously starting as a real estate salesperson on your own or starting working under someone, it's two different things. If I was going to start on my own as a real estate salesperson, like I did that many years ago, the first thing I would do is I would hire someone to help me with where my strengths are not obviously so good. And that's, databasing and doing all the work that it's very detailed work, and I will focus on what I'm good at. That's if I was starting out as a salesperson, Manos. And if for both, actually salesperson on your own or working for someone else, the main thing is look after the people that you meet every single day. Put them in the database and keep in touch, because we meet so many people every single day, and then as salespeople, we go out there, we letterbox shop, we're trying to find new connections all the time, constantly, but we don't nurture the people that we have already met and we have already built relationships with. So, and I think the industry is getting a lot better because the technology has allowed us now to do that. You can do your trails and you can do so many things that, maybe in the past was not available. So yeah, definitely nurturing the clients. And keeping a database. Yeah.
100%. So I think if we, every single real estate agent, if I ask them what's their top thing that they'd ask themselves, back when they first started in real estate, and that is love the one you're with. As you said, Maria, the challenge in real estate is not lead generation. we don't have a lead generation challenge. I know it may sound hard for some people who are struggling to get their appraisals and so forth, but if you put all the practices in place, and it does take time, I'm not saying it's going to happen overnight. I was speaking to Michael just yesterday, and we're just talking about his career and just talking about, you know, he's selling 50, 60, 70 homes a year, which puts him in the top 5% of agents in Australia. And he's been in real estate for 10 years. His prospecting is totally different to what someone brand new is starting. He does not have a lead generation challenge. He has a lead follow-up challenge. And so when talking about his business and expanding his team, he was talking about, okay, he's already ahead of the game. He's already planning for next year. And he goes, where's my missing link in the last couple of years? And that is my follow-up. He just doesn't, whether it's discipline, whether he doesn't commit to it, it doesn't really matter, but identifying it. And he goes, my next strategy is he just hired his third person to start in his team. And what that person is going to be the follow-up person. It is making the anniversary calls.
If you think about how much money we spend every day on letterbox shops and social media to get people that we have never met to click on a link to get an appraisal or to, you know, call us from a letterbox shop, where if you focus all that, you know, if you've been in real estate for a little while and you've collected that data, if you focus all those efforts to the people that you have already met and you provide value to them constantly, then you become the agent of choice. And I think that's a no-brainer.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely no-brainer. So with that, we're just over 11:34. We've got our social media queen. Come on through. I want to introduce you, Steph. Before we start, can we give a big shout out to Steph? Right, Steph has been, if you've been loving the Black Salt posts and all the promotion that's happening on socials, Queen of Socials. This is Steph, and a number of other team members upstairs who have made some incredible workbooks. So can we just give a virtual thank you to all the graphics team that's worked so hard. I think you're going to be totally blown away with what we're presenting today. So
thank you. I was trying to sneak in off camera, but anyway, that's
I'll let you do your thing. Okay, let's get started with the show, as they say. Screen 3. Okay. I'll make sure I can still see everyone. Okay, team. First of all, thank you once again for attending today's session. I know a few of you have seen me present before, and I know there's a few new people on. My biggest thing when I have people come and join us is I value your time more than anything. And I want to make sure that when you leave today's session, and it's likely to go for the full 2 hours, unlike some of our previous sessions, so be prepared. There's a lot of content because I think this is probably the most important session of your real estate career throughout the year, your planning session. But as I was saying, I value everyone's time more than anything. I don't want you to come here and walk away and not have actionable stuff. It's like when I attend conferences, my biggest frustration is walking away and then not implementing those actions, because at the end of the day, you've just wasted your time. Forget about the financial. To me, your time is more valuable than anything. So on that note, welcome to the Black Salt Movement. For those people who are here for the very first time, we're here, agents in the field, training agents in the field, and we don't play lip service to this mantra of ours. This is about everyday real estate agents in the field working all the tools and sharing their insights to get better. And the more we share and the more we give of each other and help each other, the more successful every single person will be. So it's a mantra we live by. We have lived by that in the last 20 years. When we walked into real estate, guys, 20 years ago, well, sorry, I didn't walk into it. I actually came into it absolutely kicking and screaming. That's another story. But I could not believe the generosity and the willingness of agents to collaborate and also to assist other agents launch their careers, improve their careers, mentor, accountability buddies. So we are absolutely blessed to be in this industry. Show of hands who believes we are absolutely blessed to be in this industry. We can write our own paycheck, literally. Okay, so a big thank you as well to technical. It will happen. Here we go. I want a big thank you to all our industry partners that are making Black Salt possible. This doesn't happen by chance, team. It's more than obviously, it's more than finances. It's efforts to put these programs together. And one thing I've absolutely loved working with these industry partners on this, they're not sponsors, and we've deliberately named them our industry partners because they're active. I was with Props last night. I was with realestate.com 2 days ago. How can we make it better? Realty Assist, Real Plus, who's going to be presenting, being co-host. All these people are absolutely invaluable. From Anna Yanis, who are doing the styling, Wingman, everyone that's involved in here, digital reprographics. So everyone that's on here is helping everyone who's attending to learn in real estate. So I can't be more grateful and thankful for these people that have obviously supported the Black Salt movement. Okay, so we are up to session number 7, December, setting up for a massive 2025. Of course, we've had a whole bunch of other sessions. Who attended incredible buyer work last month with Joel Hood and Adrian, Joel Hood from Joel Hood Property and Adrian Calcedo from Marshall White here in Mount Eliza. Guys, who took some absolutely invaluable content out of that? That was sensational. Just who wants to share what they learned from incredible buyer work and what did they implement? Just some basics. Help me out here.
Manos, can I just say the one thing that I took out of it is, especially from Calcedo, Joel said quite openly that the phone never left his hand. So he who makes the most calls wins. We've said it for years. And he wasn't resisting to it. So he took to it like a fish in water and catapulted his career in the industry just from that one thing that he did. He was always on the other end of a phone.
Yeah, and we're going to go through some statistics a little bit later in this presentation that will amplify why incredible buyer work is one of your cornerstones of building not only a huge real estate business, but a consistent and sustainable real estate career. That's what the most important thing. So team, all these sessions have been recorded. They're in your Black Salt membership portal. Log in. Everyone should have a login. I know there's some guests here, but we'll talk about how you can get access to that a little bit later. But all the recordings from the session, they've been transcribed. The PDFs are there, all the slides. Black Salt 2024, all the sessions are there. You can go back and refresh. When you have a new team member join you, this is the perfect opportunity to get into them, get them into your portal and get them to be listening to these training sessions and going through the workbooks. Okay, so it's available for everyone. And I know there's a lot of training out there and you need to be specific. So what we've designed is something that's really actionable, quality over quantity, so that people can actually go, I learned that dialogue, I learned that prospecting tip, I learned that mindset tip. Moving forward. Okay, so team, we're super excited about this year's Black Salt, and I've brought forward the availability of these workbooks to everyone to this session. And Black Salt will always be conducted now, predominantly in the second week of December. We believe the formats are set up for your following year needs to be done in December. We're really busy October, November. We know on FM, October, November, February, March is our busiest times of the year, and trying to coordinate a fresh start and a kickstart and a review is difficult. We've been doing this for about, over 15 years, and we've found the second week in December is the optimum time to have a refresh. So everyone will be getting all these workbooks that are download. George, you want to just talk how the non-members can get these workbooks?
Yeah, sure. So in the chat for the Zoom, we've got a Google Drive link where you can download all the workbooks that are listed there, as well as a Excel business planning template that Manos has provided. So yeah, just click on the link. It's in the chat, and intermittently throughout the session, I'll be posting that link there as well, just in the chat.
Thanks, George. And if anyone's have any challenges, just email George directly. George, put in your email as well in the chat so people can access you for future reference as well. Okay, so there's a number of books. We've got the Black Salt program, which it will be obviously based on Tuesdays and Wednesdays Black Salt series. So again, those people who can't attend Black Salt and have access to the virtual sessions, the workbook is in there, so you can write your notes for each individual speaker. There's the game day workbook, which is it's a game changer. The sales agent framework. This is our new Alpha and Omega workbook. So those people that have worked with us before, we always had the Alpha and Omega workbook. We've changed it to the Hustle Playbook. And the reason I've changed its name to the Hustle Playbook, because coaching and being in the field with so many agents, that book is the hustle book. It's not a just recording and leaving it. I know it's the beginning and the end, but it's all about the hustle. And next year's theme is, how do you have a personal best in 2025? And to me, learning the fundamentals is one thing, but applying the hustle to get you from A to B, or A to Z, I should say, is the magic bullet, for lack of a better expression. Furthermore, now these books are quite extensive. Just the sales agent framework is 188 pages. So if you're downloading it and printing it, which we highly recommend, and then binding it, make sure you got lots of paper in your printer. Those people that are attending Black Salt will get the printed hard copies of these 4 workbooks. Okay, and then there's the downloads, and we've changed it up this year. We've removed a couple of sections from the sales agent business planning book to make it more easier. We've been listening to feedback to get some actionable steps in here. So one of them is a 28-day assistant planner, and the other one is a full program to your 2025 yearly prospecting schedule. So make sure that you download that. And again, we'll talk about how to implement that and make sure you get the most use of it. And of course, there's never a session that you'll be left without an Excel spreadsheet from me. So this is now, I've changed it up as well. A few people asked me to change the cells. So I've actually locked down the cells. So you can't stuff up the formulas, right? So it's really simple, right? It's really, really simple. So you can't stuff up the formulas. We'll go through an example one later in the program. Okay, let's go. Smashing your personal best in 2025. Team PB is about bulletproofing your processes, accelerating your results so you can dominate your marketplace. Bulletproof, accelerate, dominate. Keep it simple, right? So this is what is smashing your personal best is. It's just sharpening your saw 1% at a time. It's not about reinventing yourself completely, just sharpening the saw 1% of the time. But I'm going to get someone to read this out, and I'm going to pick I'm going to pick the middle person, Frank. Frank, you're in the middle of the screen for me, so I'd like you to read this out.
Definitely. All right. So my goal in 2024 is to complete my goals for 2023, which I should have completed in 2022 because I promised myself I would achieve them in 2021, which I had written down to do in 2020.
Who relates? Well done. Thank you so much, Frank. Right. Who relates to that? Here, I'm just going to put 2 hands up. Right. We're all guilty. Well, I mean, there's got to be a unicorn in the room that's perfect in everything, but we're all guilty in some aspects of our professional and personal lives that we set some goals at the end of each year, the New Year's resolutions, and all we're doing is rereading them 1 year later. And we've also got to be reminded that time goes really, really quick. There are only 21 days left in 2024. There are only 3 weeks left, okay? So who remembers the first week of this year? I do. And I think as you get older, the decades become years, the years become months, the months become weeks, the weeks become days. Who can relate to that? Life's getting faster and faster and faster. So we need to be conscious of it, and we need to put processes in place to slow it down. And the way we slow it down is actually having a plan in place, okay? So what we need to do is we need to have a massive 2025. We need to review what we've done. We need to reset. From the review, we reset, and then we go for a full relaunch. And there's 3 parts to this, right? So who's ready? Let's go. So let's go. Today's session insights, your why and self-assessment. So we're going to work on the why. We're going to be talking about going pro, all in. We're going to be talking about setting the foundations and the absolute basics, because a lot of people skip this point, and sometimes they do it and then they forget to come back to it. Reverse engineering 2024 results. How are we going to do that? And of course, the path to a personal best. There is absolutely no way we can cover the whole program in 2 hours. So the purpose of today is to just set a few basic foundations. The most important thing will be what you do after these 2 hours, and of course, after Black Salt next week. So let's start with your why and self-assessment. So your why matters. So everyone needs to create a personal formula to get shit done and to keep yourself on track. And a personal formula we use and we love using is an acronym we came up with called Game Day. We really believe that everything falls in place when you truly know what you want. And don't underestimate the power of your why. And lots of people talk about their whys, and there's lots of courses that we can take, and we can hear it all on Instagram, and we can see everything that's happening. But what we find is that few people actually dive deep into what makes them tick, and they're putting a plan in place to keep them on track. And that's why we believe that the Game Day program is absolutely invaluable and something that we should be doing on a yearly basis. And of course, Game Day stands for, the acronym, it stands for gratitude, affirmations, meditation, exercise, daily journal, always be learning, and of course, your why. Now, we don't have time to go through every single component, but Maria, I'd love for you to just share gratitude and affirmations with the team, and how you've used it in obviously in our lives, and how it's impacted ourselves when following this program.
Okay. Look, everyone knows that obviously you wake up in the morning feeling grateful for what you already have. It sets up the day for you to actually be happier and look at it through a different lens. Look at your day through a different lens. You've felt it before in your life. Like you wake up one day and something sort of goes wrong and you focus on that, and then take a notice on what happens that day. The day will continue to go on exactly as you've imagined it in the morning. Whereas if you wake up in the morning, you take a little bit of time for yourself. What we do with Manos is we go outside, step on our grass barefoot. Our youngest son, Costa, has had a lot of influence on us in that. You've got to earth yourself in the morning. But gratitude for us has been very natural, because it's just, we've always done it all of our lives, because it's like, it's in our blood, it's in our heritage, it's come through our parents, It's waking up in the morning, be grateful, you know, for what we have, and then moving forward from there. It just sets up your day for, you know, I mean, it's a whole subject. We could do 50 slides on it. But if I can just recommend that to you, as soon as you wake up in the morning, you open up your eyes, just think about a couple of things that you're very grateful for, even before you get out of bed. And try and spend a few moments in the morning without picking up that phone, you know, really enjoying the cup of hot coffee, the smells, getting outside, getting some really beautiful cold air on your face or warm sun, whatever the season is. And that's going to set up your day really, really well. I feel it's very important.
Yeah. And look, on a personal level, team, I thought this was all woohoo stuff. Like, like
for years, you used to make fun
of me. Years, I think, yeah. He's just a lot, you know, all those alternative methods and so forth. But seriously, if you actually embrace it and you follow the program and you do your affirmations, and I highly recommend people get connected with Joe Dispenza. He goes deep in regards to rewiring,
creating your reality,
rewiring your brain, creating the power of affirmations, but he puts a scientific spin on it. So he was the first person that the penny dropped for me. And this is what you'll find as well when you're learning in real estate. Some people you're going to resonate with their what they say. Some people you don't, whether it's in real estate or outside. And I've heard of the gratitude affirmations and meditation prior to Joe Dispenza, but until Joe Dispenza came along and gave that scientific approach to it, that's when the penny dropped for me. So again, you'll find the tribe that you obviously relate to and so forth. So it is important. And hence why I've said, create a personal formula to get shit done and keep you on track. And so my biggest thing for everyone here, I would get this book, pull it apart and redesign it to your way. So, and when you do that in any part of your business, you embrace it, right? So we shouldn't be just parroting everyone else. If you like it, absolutely grab it. But if you feel something's missing, change it to suit you. There's no right or wrong. This isn't the perfect way. Mel Robbins has the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, the 5-second rule. She became world famous because of that. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, let's go. Stop procrastinating. Last year, Ryan Serhart, I absolutely love this topic that this strategy that he uses when he shared it up on the ARIC stage, where he said that if something frustrating happened or there was a challenge on a particular day, he used to write it in his, and obviously got him upset, he used to write it in his diary 30 days later. Remember what this happened 30 days ago. And he put this process in place so that 30 days later, when he read it, he goes, oh, it wasn't that much of a big deal. So that was his way, his coping mechanism to actually cope with the ups and downs of real estate. So it's just, again, you've got to put your own formula and plan in place to navigate the highs and lows and to obviously keep you on track. So that's why your why matters. So again, the content in this book, there's no way we're going to go through all of it. But we talk about, do you really know what you want? What are your goals? A happiness triangle, talking about all the 3 areas of your life that are the most important. It could be different to everyone, but we've got health, relationships, and freedom. Freedom, basically, when we talk about wealth building, we on a personal level, we call that freedom. Okay, so wealth for us isn't about how many dollars and how many zeros are in our bank account. What does it mean to have financial wealth? For us, it's freedom. And what does that allow us to do? Freedom to work the way we want to work, with the people that we want to work with, to do the things that we want to have my DNA is I'm risk adverse. I don't like debt. I'm totally risk averse. So understanding your debt tolerance as well. So that's what wealth means to us, is being able to go to bed at night, not worrying about who's going to pay the bills, how are we going to pay the bills tomorrow. So again, these little strategies are so important. And again, this will be a great exercise to do. How many days do you have left? I know it's really confronting Maria always. Yeah, I can see her shaking her head. And so how many days, if the average person lives to 85, I celebrate a huge milestone next year. I'm going to, halfway through my life, I'll be 60. I plan to live to 120. But if you go on maths, I've got 25 years left as of next year. And, you know, it might be sad to sort of think like that, but really at the end of the day, we need to know. So again, understanding the value of our time. Are we doing the things that we want to be doing? So again, be mindful of that. The game day formula, the reverse bucket list, we will touch on this because I think it's really, really important. Of course, creating your vision and dream board, that's a simple one to do, and it's something that we should be adding to all the time. But this is the one that I really want everyone to really think about, to actually put aside some time to do their current financial position, their monthly living expenses, their business. If you're running a business, your business expenses. We'll be talking a little bit about start more of your habits. And of course, your top 5 for the next 12 months. 5 may be a bit too much, but it's a good number to work with. So I've had this slide last year at Black Salt presentation, but I think it is important. Most people spend more time planning the family holiday than planning their business and life. So right now, what I'd like you to do is get your phone out, go to your calendar right now. Go to your calendar. I need you to pick a day before Christmas or between Christmas, before the new year, right? Bring out the calendar, pick a day. Now, you may want to do this with your significant other, with your business partners, with your colleagues, with your team. It doesn't really matter. You might have a couple of sessions, one for personal, one for business. But this is your implementation day. So now people are thinking, oh, I don't know if I can fit it in that day. I'll have to talk to someone. What I want you to do is put it in next week, Friday. So when Friday comes, if you can't do it, that's going to prompt you to actually schedule it for the right time. Does that make sense? So don't try and find the perfect day right now, but schedule it in your diary as we're speaking. So it is a task that has to be done before the new year. Can everyone do that? Yep. All good? Great. Okay. So that's your first thing. Now, the reverse bucket list. Team, I love this. The reverse bucket list, to me, it's a reflection and celebration of the things we've already achieved, especially experienced, but more importantly, for me, the challenges we've overcome. See, a lot of people may not know what their why is. A lot of people, and we do the game day program. Put this in your diary too. June 2026, we don't know which week, probably the first week or the second week, but we've got our Live It Up conference in Crete. It's coming back in June 2026. So it's a good, 17 months away, 19 months away. So lots of planning. We'd love to see as many people. It's 2 half days. We're back to our traditional format. I know we did Bali this year, but Live It Up conference in Crete, Greece, 2026. Make it a European vacation as well. It'll be a great goal to everyone to have. We do it on our beautiful island of Crete, our second home. We put on a barbecue. There's lots of fun, but we actually talk about the game day program, living a healthy life, the whole lot. It's not real estate. If you want to come and learn real estate, don't come to that conference. That conference is purely about health and well-being. We have some special guest speakers as well. So we're already planning for it. So super excited about that. But the reverse bucket list, as I was saying, we sometimes don't know what we want in the future, but sometimes put some lofty goals in our why. But we often forget to celebrate how we got to where we are today, all the challenges we overcome. So if you've done anything, for example, for myself, I'm going through a little bit of a health crisis at the moment, not crisis, but a health challenge. And, you know, I'm beating myself up about it. And then I look at my reverse bucket list and say, mate, you did this, 3 years ago, you overcame a heart attack and you've walked to Melbourne 8 times, 50 kilometers. right? So I've done it in the past. I'll get back on track to do it again in the future. Does that make sense? So that motivates me more than thinking I'm going to walk, 200 kilometers. I think of what I've achieved in the past to go to the front. My fear of public speaking. Like if you knew me the very first time I got up on stage for public speaking, like I was a wreck. I was a wreck for 3 months. It was the closest time that Maria ever said, I'm actually going to divorce you. I'm leaving you. Right? So because it was a frightening experience for me. But again, I look back at those days and I go, far out, what was I worried about? Now, I mean, I struggled getting the microphone off Arthur, but if Arthur and I up on stage, to give me the microphone, but anyway, I'll leave the jokes to Arthur as well. So, reverse bucket list. So I highly recommend that everyone sits and does that. So in the workbook, can't see what the page is there, 29, I think these reverse bucket list, put it all in there. I want you to, you might not have downloaded the workbook as yet, but just put in the chat right now as we're going through, what are some of your wins? Personal, business, could be that you cracked $1 million in GCI, or 500,000 in GCI, or you made your first sale. So what's your win? Have you achieved your health goals? Just stick in the chat, share it with everyone as we're going through it. And then, of course, the self-assessment. And Arthur, if you see anyone's, if you want to just share any, by all means, people can just interrupt me and away we go. Self-assessment. I think this one is probably one of the biggest things that an individual can do. What got you here may not get you there. It's something that sometimes the definition of insanity, as Albert Einstein said, it goes, definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. And a lot of us are like that a lot of agents are like that in their real estate career, and they don't understand why they're not increasing their conversion rate. They're not wondering why they're not getting more inbounds and stuff like that, but they're not changing things. So we need a self-assessment in all areas of our life and saying, hey, where can I be doing better? And the first step to creating a life that you want is taking responsibility for the life you have. You are in the exact position where you are right now because of the decisions you made 3 months ago, 1 year ago, 12 months ago, 10 years ago. You're here because of those decisions that you've made, right? So you need to have a self-assessment. This isn't about all good decisions or bad decisions. This is just every decision that's happened to you. Most things are in our control. So what I want everyone to be doing is when you have your planning day, is I'll bring up what we call the stop, start, more, less program. And I think this is a really important one too. The best investment you can make is not in property or share, it's investing in yourself, right? So this process is when I first did it, it was kind of difficult because it was kind of difficult, but it really highlighted some gaps in my everyday habits. And the habit advantage is that we know that good habits build momentum, bad habits create barriers. They stop you. So we need to have a self-assessment to say, okay, what should I stop doing? What should I start doing? What should I be doing more of? What should I be doing less of? Right? And you start categorizing a few things. So just shout it out. If you know something you need to stop, if you know something you need to start, if you know there's something you need to do more of or less of, just shout it out. Well,
we've got some chat in the box there, Manos. Paul Organizidis is saying that he's focusing on traveling to Europe, and I guess, Paul, you mean with your 3 children as well? No, he's shaking his head just on his own. Okay, just taking a little sabbatical. Fair enough. Scott DeBoer. Scott, you've got me intrigued here. 22 months sober. Can you just jump on, mate? And firstly, congratulations for that.
Well done.
You on there, mate?
Yeah, he is. Hey, Scott.
Just give us a little bit of you know, a little bit
Background on that.
background, please. Yeah.
Yeah, 22 months ago, I think I turned 37. Just found myself prior to that drinking way too much, so just decided to completely stop and change companies and joined T&J. So ever since I've been with T&J, I've been sober and just a lot more clear-headed and got a 7-year-old daughter. So she was the main reason, I think, for doing that, and feeling good.
Yeah, well done, Scott. Congratulations.
That's awesome, mate. It's really good. Keep going. And I was gonna make a little joke. You coming to the gala, of course? No? No, he's on mute. I'll let him go.
If there's any 0% beers, I'll smash a few of those.
I was going to say it'll be you and me, mate, because I'm not a drinker either. Going over to Simone, she sold her first 2 properties. Congratulations.
Oh, well done, Simone.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Simone. That's awesome.
Thank you. It's an amazing journey. I loved every minute of it.
Fantastic. Well,
fantastic. Really, many more to come.
Yes, I hope so.
Sonam said he's made his first 3 sales as a listing and selling agent. So congratulations, Sonam, to you as well. That's always exciting.
Yep.
Thank you, Arthur. Thank you, Manos.
Well done.
Many more to come. And I've got Nav Cattell. I can't read your full name there on my screen. Starting his journey in real estate. Well done, champ. You on this morning?
Yeah, I'm here.
Fantastic. When did you start?
Started about 3 weeks ago.
And fantastic. Week number 4 is the hardest. No.
Yeah, so it's definitely been good, but I spoke to Manos during the week too, and it's just trying to find when I was ready for it, and I guess now I'm just ready to make that jump to real estate.
Hey, I know one thing in life: when Manos tells you you're ready for it, you're ready for
it. And you've landed in a really good.
You said the same to me 20 years ago.
Yeah, you'd be good in real estate. That's what I said. Actually, I said I miss you, Arthur. I need you in real estate. So everyone's journey is different coming into it. So there's everyone from different walks of life. But 2 people mentioned a few things in regards to obviously Nav and Scott. Your sphere of influence is really, really important, guys. Who you surround yourself with, absolutely, they're either going to build you up or they're going to build you down. So if I can just have someone just mute themselves for just a little bit. Yeah, thank you. Awesome. Okay, so the habit advantage is stop, start, more, less. So, for example, stop snoozing the alarm clock. That could be the stop part could be stop snoozing the alarm clock when you set it. Obviously, you get up. Start exercising. But be more specific. Start with 3 walks a week. Walk 5 kilometers initially, and then build it up from there. More if it comes to prospecting. More, so if you're doing 20 calls a day, up it to 25 to 30. The more detail you go into it, now I can guarantee you will likely do less than 80%, because speaking to people who have done this program, next to impossible to do everything, but just by listing it, and this is the Joe Dispenza formula as well, just by listing it, you start to connect the neuro pathways and it becomes important to you. So whilst you might not accomplish it to the nth degree that you may wish when you first put it down, what you find is that even a little bit of a needle mover, it makes a big difference. And you'll have the compound effect. You'll go 1 to 2 to 4 to 8 to 16. And then you'll find that you're building momentum in building the right habits. And that's why I call it the habit advantage, because it's not about, I'm going to exercise every day of the week right now, but writing it down and then starting it and obviously referencing it throughout the year. It's going to trigger some actions. And this is what it's all about. And again, going back to build a formula that you can actually implement. Okay, going pro all in session. So who got some value out of session 1? Okay. And as I said, this book in your implementation day with your colleagues when it comes to business. and obviously your immediate family and go-to person for your personal. It's really, really important to strategize that. Most people take 3, 4, 5 hours. Most people make it a day. Most people go to the beach. Most people will go out somewhere. Some people just really focus at home. It doesn't matter, but also celebrate at the end of the session as well, whether it's a great lunch, a dinner, or something like that, but just go all in, and obviously when you do the implementation day. Okay, going pro, all in. I find a lot of people are challenged in real estate because it's a roller coaster. It's the up and the down. You know, in the same day, we can be at the heights of exhilaration and then at the depths of depression. You just put a deal together in the morning and it's a record deal, and then the afternoon, the buyer calls up and I've cooled off. Who's had that? Or a vendor's promised you a listing, promised you they're going to name their kids after you, and then they give it to the competition. Who's had that, right? And I'm going to show some numbers about winning and losing, and a real valuable story about. And I know, Arthur, you don't like it calling it losing, you like calling it learning, but it's a really valuable thing. But this is the one thing, the next slide is probably the one thing that changes most people's trajectory. Going pro, all in, make the decision to be in real estate for the rest of your life. Make the decision to be in real estate for the rest of your life, and everything falls into place. When you make that decision to be in real estate for the rest of your life, or another question I ask a lot of business owners, what does your business need to look like if you made the decision to be in it for the rest of your life? You start putting processes and plans in place to make sure that you can be in it and you enjoy it thoroughly. There is not a day that we come to work. Do we have ups and downs in our work, Maria, Arthur, in our workplace? Absolutely. Ups and downs. There is lots of them. We face absolutely the same and similar challenges as what every agent in the field, whilst we might not be listing and selling, and the highs and lows of listing and selling and winning deals, so forth, the same thing applies to us about attracting agents, not joining, agents leaving us, the whole thing. It's the same thing, just a different context, okay? We've made a decision to be in this for the rest of our lives. So because of it, we've also looked at our why, how we want our life to be built, and you build a system and a business around that. And making the decision to be in real estate for the rest of life means you want to be doing great work with great people, yeah? You want to be doing great work with great people. So you surround yourself with great people. If you're building a team, you surround yourself with a great team. When you join a team, you want to join a team that's with great people. You want to get good at getting good, which is my next slide. You want to get good at getting good, because we know things don't get easier, but you do get better. So, like, you think about it. Will fallovers always happen in real estate, i.e. finance, rejected, didn't go through, building and pest inspections, cool-offs, the whole lot? Will that always happen in real estate? Will you lose listings? You will always have that. Doesn't get easier, but you just get better at handling it, and you get better at coping from a mindset point of view, right? And we need to level up again. And I just want to say this one thing. There's going to be a couple of things that you'll take away from today, but do this, especially we want some needle movers. This is one of the biggest needle movers you can do in your real estate career if you're not already doing it. Role play critical conversations before making the calls and all the appointments. Role play critical. I was blessed, right? I don't know if Maria was blessed, but I was definitely blessed because I was partnering with Maria when we were listing and selling. So when we were listing and selling 120 homes on average per year, right? Because that was our two properties a week on average we'd sell. We were doing high volume, really high volume, right? But to get to that stage, we needed, like, there was lots of transactions, and I wasn't the guy. I was a numbers person. I was an Excel spreadsheet person. I was what you call personality-wise a lord. I didn't have the EQ that, you know, obviously the natural salespeople have. Maria had natural sales talent. I didn't. So I needed to learn. I had a steeper learning curve to get my dialogue and my mindset and my emotional state better. So role-playing critical conversation before every call was the best, to learn how to read the play, to say the right things. I'm not sure if Andy Thorpe is here on the session today, but I remember distinctly, I can remember lots of calls from lots of our team members who have called us on a Sunday and say, hey, this vendor wants to drop my fee from 25,000 down to 10,000 to get this deal over the line. I'm stuck. So I remember Andy called me and we role played it just over the phone. It took 3 minutes, 3 minutes of role play. So, well, give me some background. This is what are you thinking of saying? He knew what to say, but he needed to role play it with someone. He goes, I feel confident going back now to the vendor. He went back to the vendor. Not only did he protect his fee and got full fee of $25,000, he got the deal done and he got a 5-star review from the vendor. So it's just a 3-minute role play, right? I remember one time, Maria, when one of our team members was at our place on a it doesn't always happen on a Sunday morning, but just happens to be on a Sunday morning. They had a Saturday open. They were over at our place for a cup of coffee, and we're just talking shop as you do. And the agent was saying that I'm not going to get this deal over the line. Maria, do you want to just share that story?
Yes. Was that the one? There's so many. Was that the one that like he was $5,000 away?
Yeah, and you said to
it's
him,
already done. 5,000 is too close. So that was years ago though too.
That was years ago.
5,000 is a little bit more. Yeah. Look, I think sometimes, Manos, you've said it really well. When you're in the jar, you actually can't read the label. And sometimes, you know, as real estate salespeople, and I don't want, the way that you were saying role playing, I don't want people to have the wrong idea about, okay, we're going to create this this scenario so then we can go and deliver it to the vendor. It's not that. It's actually discussing all the different options with another member or with someone that you trust, and they've got, they've got similar values and they know obviously your business. It's really important because sometimes we get so involved in the deal that we can't think a little bit outside the square. Classic example, that Sunday morning, the deal was so close together, it was only $5,000 away, but the agent thought that that's it wasn't going to get done. And of course, it did get done. It's just that sometimes we get so close to it, discussing it with someone else, and before we call our vendors or our buyers, it just helps so much. Just seeing it from a different perspective. Yeah.
So true.
Yeah.
And that deal, there was steps put in place, dialogue put in place, and that got the deal over the line.
Yeah.
Okay. So we need to level up your game. And so what we're talking about is prospecting consistency. These are the fundamentals, right? I want everyone, take a photo of that. Everyone's going to have access to these slides, right? But take a photo of this, because if you want to level up in 2025 and level up your game, because this isn't just about a PB in 2025. We want to get some automation. We got to get, this is what I know, working with some of the best agents, what they're doing. Prospecting consistency. It's a non-negotiable. Now, some people may think they're doing consistent prospecting, and I'm going to challenge you at the end of this session, whether you are or not, right? Listing presentations and closing, right? So the closing is critical, absolutely critical. And again, I'll show you an example of closing a little bit later. Buyer work, negotiation, market knowledge and KPIs, financial literacy, and the bottom two to me are the most important. Mindset, handling rejection and setbacks, reading the play, the hustle, asking great questions. The mindset, if you go back to my original question, make the decision to be in real estate for the rest of your life. believe it or not, this rejection and setbacks will disappear because you know it's part of it. You'll know it's part of it. So if that, I knew that was a big one for me, and hence why I always bring it up in so many examples, that as soon as I overcome that, man, it was great. Okay, so level up your game. Now, your greatest competitive advantage. Who wants to finish the line? Those people that have heard me speak before. You'll go for it, Paul.
Is that our competition is lazy.
Yep, so long as
they can't say the same thing about you.
Yeah. Team I, we've become good friends. Daniel Bignall from Props. Right, so if you're not using the Props product, you should be. I'll be sharing a slide a little bit later. We're out for dinner last night, and we went out to lunch last week, and they just shared that they just bought a property right here in the eastern suburbs of Melbourne, Doncaster way, that way. So here's the thing. He said through his journey of the last 3 months, he would have come across between 50 to, how many agents? It was 50 to 78. It was a phenomenal amount of agents, guys. Phenomenal amount, right? I was blown away, right? He goes, Manos, we were like, and they're in, like, he's not a real estate agent. He's a tech person supplying services to the real estate industry. And he goes, out of 50 or so real estate agents, only 3 of them, I'll repeat, only 3 of them, number 1, followed him up, and number 2, asked one question. Do you have a property to sell? Like, phenomenal. Now, I've been talking about this since yonks, right? Since I actually learned it, right? And I'm going to share some statistics a little bit later to quantify, again, how do you use this. So I want to ask, if you have it yourselves, please ask your friends. This is another little needle mover. I need you to ask, have you or your friends bought or sold recently? Ask them about the experience. Ask them about the experience of how they found buying and selling. I guarantee you will learn so much from that that you can apply into your business, that it will blow you away, because it's the basics that get you. The basics are the needle movers, because, quite frankly, the competition is lazy as long as the competition doesn't say the same thing about you. Okay? Everyone relate to that? What's one of the greatest things that you know as buyer work that you could hear and you know you're on the right track from buyers? What's one comment if they tell you? And you know you're doing great buyer work.
You're the only one that calls us back.
You're the only one that calls us back. If you're not hearing that, I'm telling you, you're not doing enough callbacks. You need to be hearing that. And you know you're on the right track, and you'll be in the top 5 to 10% of agents. Because unfortunately, over a period of time, complacency comes in. Okay, moving forward. So session, how are we going for time? Yeah, we're doing well. So setting the foundations and absolute basics. So I'll quickly go through this, but this is more of an exercise for you to download the workbook. And what I recommend, download it and have it in a PDF, save it in your iBooks, right? Or save it in your folder. But I always, if you've got an iPhone, you can save the PDF in iBooks, all the PDFs, and you can just scroll and read all the content from the workbooks, because we do cover off on a lot. Now, when I say this isn't for you guys to be doing this on a weekly basis. And when we talk about business plans, I want to make it really, really clear. It's a set and forget. Set and forget. I want you to think that when you learn these things, I want it to be like you've learned to drive the car, as I mentioned earlier, and it becomes automatic. And you're aware, because I don't want people to be spending hours and hours and hours every week reviewing their stuff and learning and learning and learning and learning. We've got to still work, okay? There is a difference, okay? So again, I want you to look at these foundations, and I'll talk about the start line in the slide. I'll talk about the high impact and wipeout activities just quickly, but the middle bits, which I've covered off on all our other sessions, so I don't want to redo that, right? So apprentice, tradesperson and practice, find out where you are in your real estate career. Go through that document, 24 if you haven't already, and see where you are. The momentum point, we know what the momentum point is when you become an attraction agent. Plot yourself on the chart where you think you are, because this is a review, a reset, and a relaunch. Remember, dollar productive hours, that's a critical one to do. All right, make sure that you go through the workbook and work out, okay, actually I've only been doing 5 hours of dollar productive hours a week. What are the dollar productive hours? Who can talk to me about what dollar productive hours are? Anyone?
Prospect.
Yep. Telephone call, door knocking. Yep.
Yep. Appraisal list.
Yep. Face-to-face appointments with your potential sellers and vendor meetings.
Yep. Opens and negotiations.
Opens and negotiations. Yep. That's it. They're the 3 things. Dollar productive hours. There are agents
and vendor meetings, but that falls
and vendor meetings. Yeah. So face-to-face, a vendor meeting, phone calls. I mean, sometimes there's some practicality that has to be put in place. I mean, if you're holding 20, 30, 40 listings, there's no way you're going to have time to meet with your vendors on a weekly basis. And anyone who says they do, well, I'd like them to prove it to me. But anyway, that's another conversation, because there's a lot of puffery in our industry, and we need to get rid of the puffery and the bragging and what's actually possible, physically possible. So those 4 things are dollar productive hours. The more you focus on those, and we know $10 productive hours a week, you're a $500,000 GCI agent. 20 hours a week, you're $1 million agent. And if you're doing 30 hours a week of dollar productive activity, you're a $1.5+ million agent. That's what the statistic is. And it's a really good, you need to review what you've done over the last 3, 4, 5, 12, if you can. Just a snapshot. Again, you only do this once. And then again, you just know it puts you in the right framework for next year. Each week that goes past, shit, I haven't done enough dollar productive stuff. The ideal week, it's all in there as well. I always believe that we need to be working in organized chaos. It's more about chunking tasks on particular days as opposed to the exact minute by minute. AM, PM, AM for your prospecting, outbound calls, PM for your appointments, face-to-face. The power of consistency, I've actually put that in there because, again, if there was one trait that high performers have got, they have a power of consistency. The power of consistency. It is a superpower of theirs. Absolute basics, right? Did you have them at hello? Like, to me, it's an absolute no-brainer. Email signatures, digital footprint. We'll talk about a few things, and high impact wipeout activity. So again, I want everyone to do this, right? The past is a place of reference, not a place of residence. I want everyone to remember that. But I want you to document the start line, your personal best year. What's the most appraisals you've done? What's the most sales you've done? What's the value of the most property you've sold? Average sale price, average selling commission, all that. What's your best year that you've ever done, right? So document your personal best to have a benchmark to work from. It's really, really important, okay? So in this example, obviously, whatever it's there, 526, 500. Be as accurate as possible. If you don't know your numbers, there's a challenge there. But again, you can use the Hustle workbook to keep you on track. All right, how memorable is your voicemail? We spoke about this in one of the earlier training sessions, and I just want to see, does anyone put some effort into their voicemail? Has anyone changed it? Does anyone want to share their unique voicemail, or do you have the normal hi? You've called Manos. I'm either in a meeting or working with clients, probably 9 o'clock at night that they've rang me, and that's the same message they get. Or is it, hi, your call is important to me. Please leave your name, phone number, contact details, and or if you want to SMS me, or sorry, am I being too sarcastic? Or Who has a fun voicemail?
Surely someone.
Come on, guys. Just don't be shy. Or is it boring? It's a fundamental one. What can we go back to 2 or 3 slides? Your greatest competitive advantage is? Okay, I'll move on.
They're not sharing today, Manos. They're not sharing.
I think I might be losing people. Okay. I want everyone, if you haven't got the Props digital business card, it's an app. I believe it's free, so it's all free. You can set up your whole digital business card using this. It's self-explanatory. Team, this is where it's at. This is the technology that's available to everyone. Who uses the Props card? I believe, George, you use it. George Findy. David, you use it. Can you just share how you use it? Do you want to just share how you use it to the team?
Yeah, I've got the digital one, like you're saying there. So what I do is when someone hangs up the phone, I'll say, I'm going to send you my digital card, and I'll just send it through on a text message. Yep. And then, or if I'm at their house, like when I do an appraisal, I'm going to share my card, and then they'll get their phone out and open it up, and I'll just hit the add to contacts. But I've also got a couple of the physical cards, which you can just tap on their phone and it'll pop up and go through the same process.
Yeah, and it's just a habit, getting into the habit. And again, it's just an invaluable tool than just, I'll SMS you my mobile number, all that sort of stuff. So highly recommend everyone goes through that. Reach out to the team there. They've got their chat box on the website. Tell them you saw it here and you're interested in it, and it'll be great because it is.
The good thing is it has mobile, it has your phone numbers, your email address, the properties you've listed, the properties you've sold. It's got all that on there. So
yeah, and it keeps it updated. Yeah, it keeps it totally updated. So if someone is interested, again, it's a little 1%er that costs you very little effort to do, but it is a habit, and it could be a habit that you put into your stop, start, more, less program. Thanks for sharing, David. I really appreciate that. Okay, the next one, make consistency your superpower. Again, I've highlighted the distance between dreams and reality is called action. So I've highlighted what I call the high impact and the wipeout activities. And this is your to-do list on a daily basis. Most people, if you're doing dollar productive work, go to 1, 2, and 3, 4, sold to settlement. They're the processes they're your high priority activities. I don't know of any other ones. If you only focused on these and also got your team, because you're not going to be able to do everything, especially if you're a volume and a higher producing agent, you're not going to be able to do it all. So this is where you can have a to-do list for obviously a lot of your team. Okay, so please start looking at these high impact and wipeout activities. Okay. Does anyone do any of these religiously? Does anyone have their, for example, sold to settlement process in place? Totally sold to settlement. You know exactly all your touch points. Fantastic. Now, in the workbook, we've got the campaign timeline. I think it's chapter 9 in the workbook, right? The campaign timeline. We've got all the touch points and we're always adding to it. So again, I want you to print it out, highlight the stuff that you do, add the stuff that's missing from that timeline, cross out the stuff that you don't do. And then that's your campaign timeline. For example, who gets their vendors to share the property on social media? So you've listed a property, it's launched, you put it on your social profile, and then do you tag the vendors or don't you tag them to actually share it on their social media? Who does that? Not me.
Well, I think Paul used to, and I'm pretty sure you did, didn't you, Paul?
Yeah, I didn't put my hand up because it's not something we're doing consistently. So
okay,
yeah,
consistency. Did it work, Paul?
Yeah, definitely. Like, yeah, it really worked for also, the best way is to actually tell the owners, hey, a lot of my clients were actually friends on Facebook and we connect. So that way they don't find it weird. So you might get a friend request from me because then when you're friends with them, they can actually tag you. And it doesn't look like a business post.
Yeah, it's so, and Paul, correct me if I'm wrong, team, those people who do social really well know how to do social really well because they keep it simple. That's why this campaign timeline is so important to look at these points, because what will happen is you start putting the processes in place to make it work for you. So I want you to start thinking, if that's part of your process and you're not able to do it, what a perfect opportunity, or you keep forgetting to do it, or whatever it is, you're just so busy. That's one of your, when you build your A team, that's a task your A team can do. Hi, Mrs. Bender. I'm calling on behalf of Paul Organzitis. He's so excited about launching your property. We've just shared it on our socials. We'd love for you to share it. Paul's going to tag you, blah, 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 to get it out there. Now, this does two things. And correct me if I'm wrong, Paul, because, and I hope I'm not speaking out of school. Paul openly admitted to me some time ago, well, he shared with me, I mean, it's not a good or bad thing. He goes, Manos, I'm not really that great at databasing everyone, but I'm really good at getting people on my socials. And really, that becomes my omnipresence. That becomes, because Paul is active on socials, guess what happens? Anyone connected to Paul sees his activity. It's like that weekly email, but it's better than the weekly email. Socials is a really big thing. I think 4 or 5 years ago, a lot of people saying I'm not getting listings from it and blah, blah, blah. Well, I think that's really changed now. It's really, really changed. It is part of your omnipresence.
Can I share one thing as well in regard?
Go for it.
The most powerful place I've seen, I guess, social media deliver direct results is in the actual community groups. So a friend of mine told me years ago, find all the community groups in your area. So they're usually suburb based, and there's a lot of buy, swap, and sell pages, but they're not the right ones. We've got estate community groups and suburb community groups. And for some reason in the last year or two, we've had a lot of people, random people going, hi, can anyone please recommend a real estate agent that you like? And I think because we've, over the years, built so many people that we've connected with as friends on Facebook, whenever somebody asks for that, they're flooded with PNG. You have to go with PNG because a lot of our past clients are on there that have sold through us. And we've just sold a house last week, which came directly off that. And the lady reached out to me on Messenger saying, apparently I have to list my house with you. So that happens quite often where our raving fans just flood other people's inquiries with us. And because it's a third party, not us approaching the client, obviously there's a bit of trust. And the other thing that we do is every time something like that happens, we actually take a screenshot of everyone that mentioned us. And for example, last month we sent out like movie tickets as a thank you. Thank you for always supporting our business, and just to keep that love going.
Paul, thank you so much for sharing. Guys, I can't stress, and again, it's about that process, about having that timeline. Joe Dispenza, rewiring the neural networks and making it part of your process. If it becomes part of your process, you can either do it yourself or you can outsource it, put a process in place to make it consistent, because that's how, it's not about you doing everything, right? It's actually the opposite. It's about how do you get the right people and the right processes in place that actually people can actually do this for you, but it becomes consistent. So I highly recommend go through this process. Okay, so reverse engineer 2024. So to predict, the best way to predict the future is to actually create it. And the way we do that is by reverse engineering what we did do, what we didn't do in 2024, what worked, what didn't work. So we need to go back, review everything from your prospecting, from your training, from all your processes, and then start rebuilding it for the following year. So when I talk about reverse engineering results and activities, I'm talking about know your numbers, know your opportunity ratio. The Hustle Playbook will go into a deep dive of that. Leverage your market statistics and, of course, your prospecting results. So a lot of this stuff we've spoken about before, but again, I'll just want to do a recap. You can't sell what you haven't listed, and you can't list what you haven't appraised. It's your opportunity ratio. You can't sell what you haven't listed, and you can't list what you haven't appraised. That was a light bulb moment for so many people when Joel Hood presented this at Black Salt in May. And what we're talking about is knowing that the market, on average, how many properties sell in Australia every year? On average, it's about 435. Post-COVID peak, 21, 22, we had almost 600,000. Right now, at the moment, it's back down to the 435. So volumes are a lot lower than what we normally anticipate. So understand there's the peaks and the troughs of real estate. But when you know this, we start talking about how many properties were listed and sold in your core area, suburbs in the last 12 months. You need to know this figure. So again, reverse engineer. It's part of our business planning sessions. But understand, just go through. If you've got the market insights on our website, or people can go onto our websites from one of our team members, and the market statistics are there from some providers. Go into CoreLogic, go into ID for Me, go into PropTrack. PropTrack at the moment, team, right? Realestate.com's PropTrack is phenomenal, right? Phenomenal. And whilst they're an industry partner, I'm saying it as a genuine agent to you guys, you really need to get into their Pro subscription. You need to get into the Elevate subscription. I wouldn't leave it to chance anymore. For a very small investment, you have access to the most important data available to you, right? So business owners, if you're on today, make sure that you get onto the Pro subscription. So the most important number you need to understand from your last 12 months is how many of those properties in your core marketplace did you appraise, right? Get called into to appraise, but also your database. How many people came onto the market that were in your database, whether they're in your core area or not, that you didn't get the opportunity to reappraise and to list and or appraise in the first instance, but they were on your database. So I want you to start thinking about these things. And this is a prospecting strategy that you need to be doing in January, preparing for January. Did you have the property owner's contact details, right? It's either yes or no. For the properties you didn't appraise. Obviously, if you appraised them, you've got those details. And you'll know how you got into the door. Did you have the property owner's contact details? We need to, where were those details available via property data sites? So if you didn't have the details and you're subscribing to these data sources, were they available? Were they available on ID for Me? Were they available on CoreLogic? Were they available somewhere in obviously your ecosystem of data? And then the most important one, when was the last time that property received a marketing touch point from you? So think about it. If you didn't get called in, there must be a reason, right? And we'll talk about some of the reasons a little bit later. So this is available to you in the back of the Hustle workbook. So get into the back of the Hustle workbook and start documenting it. Now, you need to reverse engineer, but also you've got a fresh start. Start documenting the listings that are coming on moving forward if you haven't done the previous ones, right? So you can start tracking it. I guarantee you by the time you get to number 6 or 7 of the listings that come on in your core market, you're going to get a really good snapshot of what's working and what isn't, and your opportunity ratio to be able to get into future ones that come into your marketplace. So really, really think about it. So think about the opportunity ratio, and I want to go into detail because if 100 properties were listed in your service area and you got called into 20 to appraise, you have an opportunity ratio of 20%, 1 in 5, yeah? This number does not reflect that you won every listing. It measures those properties you were given the opportunity to win the business. It's a big difference, right? And then, why didn't the other 80 sellers call you in? So for 100, 100 came on. You got called into 20, fantastic. From referrals, market presence, realestate.com, profiles, whatever it is, past buyers, past sellers, whatever it is. But if 80 didn't, you need to find out why. You need to dig deep. This is it. And if once you do this exercise once, I can almost guarantee you probably won't have to do it next year, because you'll put the processes in place to try and increase that opportunity ratio. Now, a disclaimer, team, I don't know anyone in a larger market area who has 100% opportunity ratio. I don't know too many who have 50% opportunity ratio. In smaller areas, for example, 1,000 homes, 2,000 suburb homes, absolutely. When Maria and I were listing and selling our 120 odd homes and so forth, and when we only had a patch of a couple of hundred, we had an 80 to 90% opportunity ratio, really concentrated. So that's why I like working with quality over quantity when it comes to prospecting. But the most important one as well is understanding your database. Then whilst I'm not going to go into database today, understanding that if you've got 1,000 people in your database today, at the end of the year, 1,000 people, those people on your database, because they're in real estate mode, they've bought a house off you, that you've sold a house for them, you've done an appraisal for them, the buyers that have come to an open for inspection that could be raving fans. They're in real estate mode. I can almost guarantee you between 7.5% and 12.5% of those will be selling in the next 12 months. So start loving the one you're with, right? Start building. Now, the caveat there is, from those 1,000 people, if you were to call them, they actually know who you are. I'm not saying they've saved your phone number, but they actually know who you are. So again, and Paul mentioned something before. He goes, in regards to the social media, it was something he used to do and it worked, right? And this is the biggest challenge. And I remember, I'm not sure if Jason is on from Sterling Estate Agents, and he coined this phrase. He goes, I used to do it. I used to do it. I used to do it. Right? I can see some people shaking their head. Go far out. They're the things that work, got us our momentum, and then we've stopped doing it. So this phenomena called I used to do is alive and real in real estate, that we actually are doing the right things and we're getting results. But for some unknown reason, we get busy. We get busy and we feel it's not important. It's not low-hanging fruit. That's a long shot. You know, I won't do my sold to settlement process. I won't do. They're not going to sell again for years. I've missed out on contacting them for their first anniversary, their second anniversary, their third anniversary. It's too late, right? So we have this mindset. So understand that. So this is something that I want everyone, if you haven't done this exercise, please do this in your marketplace and redo it. If you've done it last year, this is something that you should, well, I think you should be doing it on a regular basis, on a weekly basis in your sales meeting. And looking at every property that comes onto the market and looking at it and say, did the buyers use the current listing that comes on? Have the vendors used the agent they bought the property off, right? Who's done this exercise? Who's done this exercise? David, you have. Arthur, can you remember your stats? Do you want to just share your stats of all the current listings, or approximately over a period of time? What percentage have actually used the agent they bought the property from?
Well, the last time that I ran the stats in our Frankston area, Manos, it was pretty spot on to what they always are. I reckon it was, if I'm not wrong, it was between 5% and 7%.
Yeah, it was here in Frankston, it was really low actually.
Yeah.
So, and that could be for various reasons, turnover of real estate agents, but very few agents were reselling properties that they had sold. I know when we did it for Dominic, and I know Dominic's away, he's not on today's session, but in Hastings, 35% of all sellers in Hastings area were using the agent they bought off. So what does that tell you? What does that tell us? What's the difference here in Frankston? What's the difference in Talent in Hastings?
Well, there's great opportunity to pick up business.
Yeah, and it tells me well, I won't say quality of agents, but you can look at it from the point of view follow-up is not great in Frankston, whereas follow-up in Hastings is longevity of agents as well. Or there could be a higher turnover in a shorter period of time, connectivity, all that. But it really uncovers so much. That's why there's so much opportunity. David, did you want to share your stats? Can you recall your stats?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure mine was out of the last 30 listings that hit the market, 3 of them used the same agent that they purchased off. 11 of them resold within 3 years.
Yeah, that's 11 out of 30 team resold, right, after within 3 years. Like that, this should be a penny. Like for those people who haven't heard us talk about this before, it should be an absolute penny drop moment. Because if that's the statistic, that's your prospecting for the beginning of January. It's your first prospecting activity to target people who have bought homes 3 years ago, 4 years ago. So if there was 100 sales in 2020, say 2023, 2022, there's 200 properties. I'd be doing direct mail to all those properties if I don't have their details in my database. Obviously, a small percentage would be ours, a larger percentage would not be. I would be doing a direct mail out to those. Can we help you with your real estate needs? We can all make some generic ones. Get the details. It's so important to understand that. And that's what we talk about, leveraging market statistics. Don't learn the statistics for the sake of statistics. If we know that 80% of sellers do not use the agent they bought off, another prospecting activity, and you should put this in your prospecting calendar right now, every new property that gets exchanged and obviously bought, whether it's through you or the opposition, do a welcome pack. Get a welcome pack to them. Be on the front foot. Most agents don't. They go, oh, okay, well, John bought number 1 Smith Street, or you won't even know the vendor's name. Why am I going to prospect this person? The likelihood of them reselling in a short period of time is going to be a long shot, but it's not. It's actually 10, 20 to 30%. And that's why when you actually work out your market statistics, you're going to be able to uncover the gold in your prospecting. And that's how you leverage prospecting, and you're working with quality over quantity. Does that make sense? Has anyone done that exercise? Okay, it's a simple one. It's a really simple one. Every marketplace should be doing it. Okay, moving on. So the Hustle Playbook, the appraisal to list ratio, really important, guys. It's the most important number in your real estate career. How many appraisals do you have to do to get your listing? So here's some statistics from some of our team members up until the end of end of October. So Jackson Kristen, they did 120 appraisals. They listed 59. Their ratio, appraisal to list, is 2 to 1. Last year, it was 2.8 to 1. They lost 21 properties, 21 listings. So 80 listings came onto the market. They won 59 of them. So their success rate was 74%. It's dropped a little bit. It was 80%. And we can move on. So 226 appraisals for JC, 56 listings, 22 loss. He's got a ratio of 4 to 1. 4 appraisals, listed 1. Now, of course, there's 78 there, and there's obviously 140 odd that still haven't come to the market. So he's got nurturing there. Whereas with Jackson Kristen, they're going into more now vendors. So there's 81 listings that came on. So they're going into, they're getting called into now vendors. So if you look at their profile, their social media, their realestate.com profile, they're out there. They're getting called in to now vendors. They're not doing that many what we call softer appraisals. And whether they're soft or not, you still call them an appraisal. So that's a really important to understand. So they've got about 40 appraisals to follow up because they haven't come onto the market yet. Whereas JC, he's got about 150. And we go across. Cameron's 5.5 to 1 last year, or 7.3, so he's getting better. He was a new agent, so he's getting better traction now and getting into more now. Michael, 135, 46 listings, 14 lost. 2.9 to 1. Last year was 3.7 to 1. So again, he's getting better into getting now vendors. We go through. And you can see everyone else is here. But this one, obviously, Joel Hood, for everyone who knows, Joel Hood's been now listing and selling for 2 years. It took him 15 months to get to his first $1 million in a cold start area in Sunshine Coast. He was obviously an established agent here on the Mornington Peninsula, made a lifestyle change, in to the Sunshine Coast. Here's great figures here. So 259 appraisals, he's listed 81 for the year. His ratio is 3.2 to 1. You can see that's come back from last year. It was 4 to 1. He's just going to clock on just under 2 million for his second year in GCI. He lost 57 team. 57. So 81 plus 57, 138 listings came on, now vendors from the 259. So his success ratio dropped to 58.7%. Last year was 77%. But here's the caveat on there too, right? It's important to track your numbers. He didn't feel that bad. Most people will look at that and go, oh my God, I haven't got a great success ratio. Like, you know, these guys got 70%, 70%, 70%, 70%. Mine's down to 58. Again, not all business is good business. Joel, changing marketplace, I'm not sure exactly. 32 of those 57 that he lost are yet to sell. So again, when you look at these numbers, it quantifies your activity and the results that you get. So the best way to predict the future is to create it. So please do that exercise. Again, use the Hustle workbook to document it. Most importantly, document your appraisal and lead sources. And you need to, if you haven't kept this for the whole year, you need to reverse engineer. So we spoke to a new agent this week. That agent came in. The beauty about this agent, the agent wasn't digitally, he works analog. So, you know, when we talk about the Hustle Playbook, this is analog. And obviously, if you're using your phone, it's digital. I recommend you do both. When it comes to appraisals, it's got to be in your digital format and also the analog. So he's had his diary for the whole 12 months where he documented all his appraisals. So he's going to reverse engineer all those appraisals. Hopefully he can remember the lead sources, start documenting it so he can plan and see, okay, where are my lead sources, the majority coming from? Where do I need to focus on? Where can I improve? Okay. So is that making sense? All good. These are some simple numbers, guys. 3 points. So this is, if you haven't done the exercise and it's too hard for you to work out, you haven't got the stats, remember, it's about 3.7 to 1. It's actually dropped to about 3.2 this year, but keep on. 3 to 4 appraisals to get one listing. The average $1 million agent with $15,000 to $20,000 GCI is doing 23 appraisals per month. So that's the number. That's the key number if you want to be a $1 million agent. Okay. Success ratio is 7 out of 10. So that's most people's success ratio. So again, we've spoken about this in your business planning. Please go back and just fill out all your the basics, your market statistics, and of course what you've actually done yourself when it comes to doing your key performance indicators and working on your business plan. And I've made it really simple for everyone. And this isn't a business planning session because it's review, reset, relaunch. You're not going to get away without an Excel spreadsheet. Download the Excel spreadsheet, put in your number that you want to achieve, right? That you want to achieve for the year. And put in all your ratios that you do, obviously average sales commission, your listing success ratio. If you listed 10, how many did you end up selling? for the year? Is it 9 out of 10? Is it 8 out of 10? Your appraisal to list ratio, if it's 1 in 3, 1 in 4, would be 25%. Number of buyers, this is a really good one. So reverse engineer how many buyers you met. Now, if I know our team have, but for those people outside of our network, get in touch with your realestate.com representative. If you don't have Pro, get onto Pro. Have a look at all the buyers that are coming through your marketplace. So they've revealed some extraordinary figures. They have the ability to track buyers and their activity, their propensity to actually sell, but also have they sold. And so on average, it's 1 in 6 buyers have a property to sell in the marketplace. So if you really think about it, that tells me every time you sell a property, if you have on average 15 buyers that come through a property to get it sold, there's 3 potential listings. 3 potential listings. Remember what I said about Daniel. He sold his home. He bought a home. He hadn't sold his home. Out of 50 odd agents, only 3 agents asked the question. So Daniel, you're moving currently where you're currently residing, XYZ. What are your plans? You're looking at selling that or keeping that, or just the pause and awe, the awe and pause strategy to find out what they're going to do with it, and then get the opportunity to get in the door. Just ask the question. So again, work through that business planning, and again, understand that obviously in the portal, if you weren't there for the business planning session, which was in June of this year, please go back to that audio, that 2-hour session, and have a look at it. Okay, the law of probability. So this is about your prospecting, guys. The law of probability has to work in your favor. The law of probability is this: on average, there are for every 1,000 homes in any marketplace, there are 3 real estate agents working it. That's what the law of probability. For every 1,500 to 2,000 properties in any marketplace, there is a standalone agency with agents in them, whether it's a single director's EBU or a larger office. These are statistics. And the statistics show that on average, in every marketplace, just about every marketplace, there's the top 3 agents doing 50% of the volume. And then the rest are doing the other bottom 50. It's just the law of probability. So I encourage everyone, go into your stats, understand it. You only need to do it once. I'm not asking you to do it every single month because you'll never sell real estate, but just to get an understanding of the numbers, because the law of probability will work in your favor if you understand it. So in 2024, in a review, were you a real estate agent or a secret agent? On a scale of 1 to 10, in the chat box right now, were you a real estate agent or a secret agent? So real estate agent, you're 10. If you're a secret agent, you're closer to the 1. In the chat box, how did you feel you went? Nav, you can't put anything there. You weren't a real estate agent. So, guys, it's a really good self-assessment, because self-assessment, it's not to punish you. It's not to make you feel guilty. It's there to motivate you and understand, hey, I'm here today doing what I'm doing because I did so much shitload of work, right? And I deserve the results I'm getting. Or, you know what, I could have done a little bit better. I took too many afternoons off. I didn't make those critical phone calls. I could have done that extra phone call. Who thinks that if they made 1 extra phone call per day, 6 days a week, because most agents work 6 days a week. I know we get time off and all that, but realistically, it's 6 days a week. If you made an extra 300 phone calls in 2024, would your business look a little bit different today? I think you would. So make the extra phone call. Just think about this and get the consistency in place. So, okay, this is the one. Did you make it easy for sellers to find you? It's all on you. And we call it omnipresence. And the next question is, what do now sellers do before they engage an agent? What do now sellers do? Let's get some chat. We've only got a few more slides to go. Let's get some chats here. Where do now sellers live? What do now sellers do before they engage an agent?
Obviously, they research.
They research. How do they research?
Well, they research online. They also take testimonials from family and friends.
Where do they find them? Come on, guys. This should be at the top of your head. Top of your head. Google reviews.
Online.
Absolutely. Online, yeah, but it's Google reviews. They see it on Google reviews. Where else do they see reviews? Real estate.
REA.
Rate My Agent.
Local. Sorry, what was that?
Rate My Agent. Realestate.com. Facebook reviews.
Yep. So if you're not actively, if you don't have your processes in place to get Google reviews, to get them onto realestate.com, to get them on Facebook, you know that definition of insanity in 12 months' time? That definition of insanity, repeating the same thing, expecting to get a different result, that's what will happen. So put a process in place. So put a process in place to get that done. So that's number one. Number two is profiles, right? Your digital profile needs to be up there. Your direct mail, your weekly, bi-monthly emails, your anniversary cards, just some really simple things that will get you to your target. But I want you to review what you've done. This is the most important part. It's one thing talking about what you're going to do. Have a review of what you've done, because this is the light bulb moment for a lot of people when they do this exercise. They actually find out, shit, I actually sold X amount of homes and I did really a little bit. I didn't do all that much. I didn't dot my I's and cross my T's in every bit of process. That's a good thing, because I always say, if you're doing everything to the nth degree, and you're not achieving your results, there's a challenge there. There's a real challenge there. But if you're not doing everything, you're only doing 10% or 20% and you're getting X amount, that will motivate you to say, shit, if I actually do a little bit more, 10%, if I do that extra little strategy and get a team member or someone to help me, I'd likely probably 2x my business. And that's what will happen. So again, what do now sellers do? They visit open for inspections. They do. When they get what? Invited to home opens. So again, I can share with you, you should be doing your VIP, beautiful, glossy, special invitation to get as many sellers to your doors, but you've got to understand why you do it. It's not in the hope of getting a seller. It's because you know that's where sellers, that's what they do to engage before they engage an agent. It's that RAS system. And I get really excited when people start to understand the RAS system. And the best example I can give you is not a vendor, but us real estate agents. Think about who works on a Saturday morning, all day. We do. Tell me if you recognize a real estate agent, a competitor from a mile away, whether you know their car or not, or whether you've seen them or not, or whether you've met them or not. You know it's a real estate agent. Why? Because it's important to you. It's called the reticular activating system in your brain. And you're a real estate agent on a Saturday and you notice everything. So when a vendor is thinking about engaging an agent, their reticular activating system is active. So guess what they take notice of? What do they take notice of?
Signboards.
Signboards. What else? Pointer boards.
Open.
Flags. People in suits, they take notice of letterbox drops, right, in their mailbox, right? So when we start thinking like that, so where can you be found? So again, the omnipresence is all these leveraging all these little things that you need to do, right? Raving fans, for sale boards, direct mail, email lists, SMS, office website, personal websites. Team, 20 years ago, half of these were not existent. They weren't existent. That's why we see newcomers coming into the industry and they're doing $1 million in a year. Newcomers. Like this has been happening now 3-4 years where brand new people are coming into the industry and they're absolutely smashing it. It's because they have access to all these things really cheap. Like it's more an investment of your effort as opposed to finances, and they get massive exposure because your greatest competitive advantage is, and the reason many agents, I won't say most, many agents are not doing it is because it's such a they don't have that delayed gratification. They want the instant hit, the instant win. And unfortunately, that just, that doesn't create momentum. So again, these slides will be taken, but take a photo of this because I think it is important that all these things and have it and say, okay, when you sit down with your team or when you review, just have a look at what you can do. Okay, awesome. Now, how consistent and effective was your marketing? So when you do your prospecting, pull out this book. What I recommend is you print off 2 of them and cross off one to say 2024 and reverse engineer. And then go back and say, okay, this is what consistently happened. This is not what consistently happened. If you've actually done this, you don't have to do it. But I recommend if you haven't done it, please go back and do it. Please, for the same reasons I mentioned earlier, it's going to tell you so much about your business and where you need to improve. Okay. Drops diary. Only a couple more slides, guys. Who's done the drops diary? Who's Simone, fantastic. Okay, who else? Simone, share what you've learned about your drops. Did you have one for yourself and one for the competitors?
No, because I haven't done a lot of drops. Obviously, with the first 2 sales, they came from existing clients. But ever since we had that session, I've been keeping a very keen eye. Some weeks there's only maybe 1 or 2, and it's the usual same 1 or 2. And then other weeks, kind of every second, maybe third week, I'll get like 5 or 6, and it's every agent in the area. So I can see the ones that are consistently doing it. And then there's also an agent that every month will drop a double-sided what's been happening in the market with a lot of statistics and things on it. So yeah, there's been a few changes in our area as well, which has been interesting in terms of agents moving between agencies and starting their own agencies. And yeah, it's been a really good exercise. Every time I get the mail, I think of you and I think, right, who's dropped this week? What are they doing? Yeah.
I love it. That's gold. And Simone, I highly recommend that you actually, if you haven't already done it, there is madness in the simplicity. There is value in the simplicity, it's not madness. By actually putting it in the weeks that you receive it, and then obviously documenting. So I haven't finished obviously this year, but documenting. So I'm not sure if you can see that. So it's all handwritten, guys. I don't spend too much time on it, right? I just list the agencies on the left-hand side as they come in from the beginning of the year, and then I just mark in October, January, February, March, how many drops and how many times. And what I do, obviously as an exercise for ourselves, at the end of the year, I'll look at who's done the most drops. I'll look at the area, and guess what? The top 3 agents in the area do the top 3 drops. I've been doing it for 9 years. I can't recall not 1 year where the agent that's dropped the most hasn't got market share. Never.
Yep.
I've never seen 1 year where someone else has got market share who's doing less direct mail. So again, the boards, of course, help. The boards, and we know the oxymoron of a for sale board, the 60-40 rule. I won't go into detail. But understand, do this exercise, have 2 drops diaries, collate in your own drops diary. I encourage everyone to actually document the prospecting and collating the prospecting there, right? And it's much easier on a paper diary than putting it into a digital format. I'm telling you, out of sight, out of mind. This isn't, we're not building a spacecraft to go to the moon. It's just to keep you on track. And the simplicity of it is where the value is. And I assure you, follow the process and the results will happen. Anyone else done the drops diary? No? Or who plans on doing the drops diary? Great. Cass, thank you. That's awesome. Okay.
Hey, Manos.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, not drops diary as such, but one thing we did do this year was the mail outs, direct mail outs from the office. Yep. And it really has been a game changer. Firstly, what we got was 10,000 deals printed for what's my property worth. And so every time we're prospecting, that always goes inside the letter, whatever letter we're sending out. But quarterly from the office, we'll have, whether it's spring or summer or winter or whatever's coming along, we always we get the office drops done, and we really notice the QR code appraisals coming in after every time that does that. Just in the last week, I've had quite a few QR code appraisals come in, and that's Simon bought a little one of those battery operated, looks like a motorbike, but it's a push bike thing. And did about 1,500 drops the other day, and all of a sudden this week we're getting all QR codes come in. So, you know, the QR code on a DL is just, you know, a game changer, but also the massive drops from within the office. And I think we're getting a lot of feedback on that.
Yeah. And this is the thing, and David, thank you so much for sharing. And this isn't just the plug for agency, guys. It's genuine. I know when agencies are actually prospecting, I mean, there isn't a week that I don't get Joel Good property inbound leads. And there was a time we weren't, and he worked out that time. His letterbox dropper actually wasn't dropping it. So it's a direct correlation. So you must be doing it. And people do go digital. So if they're actually scanning it, whilst a lot of these QR code systems don't get the full name and phone number of a vendor, you get to know which property is coming onto the market, right? You do. It's 1 in 6 comes onto the market within a 12 to 18 month period. We know they're going to be what we call real estate, they're active in real estate. So it's, don't discount this data that you get. But again, David, thank you so much for sharing. I know you exceeded market share because of that's what was one of those reasons. There's a combination. It's not just one thing, and that's where a lot of people say, I've done all these letterbox drops, and I'm getting no results. It will have to be piggybacked by for sale boards, sold boards, home open invites. It leverages. Nothing happens in isolation. The famous Lee Woodward line, nothing happens in isolation. Things happen in campaign, hence the consistency. So last couple of slides, falling for the loyalty trap, guys. Property owners are not necessarily your lifelong friends or clients. And I see a lot of this, right? So I want everyone to understand, take that off your mindset, right? Clients for life. My best friends, they love me, blah, blah, blah. I need you. It's not good. It's not a great mindset to have, because it actually stops you from prospecting and actually doing the activities to keep fresh. So I call it, obviously the loyalty trap, where people stop doing activity thinking, oh, I did a great sale, I discounted my commission, I gave them a great present, took them out to a restaurant, blah, 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 blah. They're going to come back to me. Recency, I want you to remember this. Recency trumps loyalty most days of the week. Recency trumps loyalty most days of the week. So be aware that if you're not active and you're not omnipresent with your past clients, as importantly to potentially new clients, you'll be your opportunity ratio will decrease. There's just no question about it. Hence why we have so much data in our databases that actually don't call us, for a reappraisal or to call in if they've been a past buyer or seller. So understanding this one fact, recency trumps loyalty most days of the week, and these are your strategies to overcome that. Zero expectations, zero disappointment. You never ever arrive, never ever feel like you've arrived. Always stay in just started mode, always stay hungry. Be paranoid about engagement. Go through the prospecting module team. Get your client engagement strategy bulletproof, that you should pull it apart, pull it back together. One contact point a year, that's critical, and I'll call it the anniversary contact point. I've gone over it many times. And remember, people have a short memory. And understand, like, they're not transacting real estate all the time. You need to be top of mind, not in their face and hassling them with a phone call every 3 months, but just being active in subtle ways. Email, social media, direct mail, and of course your results. And they'll always remember you as the agent that they bought off, the agent that they sold through, the agent that they will refer. So be mindful of that. Okay, last one, the path to a personal best. So a summation of everything that we need to be doing. Last few slides. Leadership fit. Are you cut out for it? Are you prepared to learn the skills, disciplines, and mindset to make it work? And I should have pre-framed it by saying you can't shrink yourself to greatness. You need a team. A team is your direct team. A team is your support team. A team is your accountant, your solicitor. For AA members, it's us. For this training organisation is your support team. This peer group is your support team, right? But when we come to leadership fit, right? Leadership fit, it's about bringing people to help you grow your business, and we call it the Directors EBU, right? And whether you're an agent and you actually own the business, or you're working as an agent within a business, it doesn't matter. Treat it like it's your own business. It's being leadership fit. If you want to excel your business, if you've made the decision to be in real estate for the rest of your life, and you want work-life balance, but work-life balance there's a bit of an oxymoron on that. People think that you put on team members to get the work-life balance. I'm telling you, you put team members on to be able to scale your business to get the work-life balance so you can have the finances to do it, right? And be doing high-value work, right? It's actually much harder, and I was speaking about it with Michael. As Manos, it was much harder when I was on my own than actually building on a team to actually get momentum, and it's actually easier. So, but you need to learn to manage people, right? You need to learn the skills, the disciplines, and most importantly, the mindset. And I see a lot of people, a lot of agents that struggle with this. They look at it as an expense, not an investment. They look at it as well, number one, they don't spend the time to set it all up, right? So I want you to think of this slide again, right? All in, going pro, make the decision to be in real estate for the rest of your life, and you'll start putting in the process in place to start building your team. So building the A team was one of our programs. Please go back and view it. If you haven't, there's the 28-day assistant planner, right? That will help you formulate who you need on your team, when you need the person on your team. And it's a really great question. I mean, Maria was on earlier. I know she had to leave, but when do you put on a team member? Sooner rather than later, and be ahead of the curve. So start thinking about doing that. All right, to finish up, the path to a personal best. I need you to, first of all, take a snapshot of this, guys, on your phone, because I know we're going to have the slides available to you. But have this as a photo on your phone to start reviewing it over the next couple of days. Define your next PB, personal and business. What does it look like for you? Identify your needle movers, the daily habits, the stop, start, more or less. Start by strengthening your weakest link. Practice. What's your weakest link in your business? Is it your listing presentation? Is it your prospecting is ad hoc? Is it your digital profile's not up to scratch? What is it? Is your follow-up crap, right? What's your weakest link? identify it, and start working on it. Have an accountability partner, coach, or colleague. I can't stress enough the importance of that. In these highs and lows of real estate, it's a real challenge to keep that level happening. Just having an accountability partner and coach is the most important thing. And it doesn't, and as Maria said earlier, it doesn't have to be anything formal and so forth. And I'm looking forward to Black Salt with Nick West and James Keenan, the directors of Nelson Alexander, a huge business and chain of agencies in Melbourne. They have a Thursday, and they'll be sharing that strategy on Tuesday. They have a Thursday catch up with each other, the two business partners. They rate themselves on how they're going. Just phenomenal process. They've been doing it for 20 years, hence why they're one of the biggest businesses in Victoria, if not Australia. Get out of your comfort zone, focus on the reverse bucket list, right? That will help you get out of the comfort zone, because you would have been in uncomfortable times and breaking through, and you remind yourself of it. Measure and celebrate milestones, on track or off track. It's so important. Review, reset, relaunch, implementation days. That's your implementation day, right? So review, reset, relaunch. Make sure you have a number of those depending on your type of business. What's it going to take? This is what it will take. It'll take 6 to 12 months of grind to set you up for the rest of your life. It's 6 to 12 months of grind. It isn't 3 days a week. It isn't 4 days a week. It's probably 6 to 7 days a week. I just want to be clear on that, depending on where you are at in your real estate career. If you're an established agent and you've been doing it for year after year and you haven't seen the changes, I'm telling you right now that what I see is 6 to 7 days worth. I'm not recommending it, right? I'm just saying this is what it will take, right? So understand your why and your goals, to pull it apart, to actually get it happening for yourself, right? But commit. It's, I need to go on a health journey, right? And even my speaking to a past coach, a PT coach, and he goes, Manos, it's actually 12 weeks. It's 12 weeks of everyday discipline, and you'll see a significant change on your health journey, right? So I know that, so we know it, but it's whether we commit to it or not. That is the most important, okay? So on that note, my last comment, all right? Ambition, desire, and drive will get you started. Relentless conviction will get you through the pain. Never giving up gets you to the finish line. So remember that quote, right? Ambition, desire, and drive will get you started. So your why. Relentless conviction, that discipline. I've got it even framed here, right? And I should have that there. And it says, self-discipline, the superpower that makes you do the things you don't feel like doing, right? So self-discipline. And will get you through the pain, and never giving up gets you to the finish line, because you should never, ever, ever give up. So guys, last one, a big thank you for those people that are joining us at Black Salt next week. Really looking forward to seeing you in person again, and many new faces. Those people that can't make it, of course, go to the website. You can obviously purchase live stream. AA members, obviously, you get that with your membership. A big thank you. I'll ask a favor too. I'm going to practice what I preach. I've asked you guys to tag your vendors in social media and so forth. If you've loved what you've learned, we'll greatly appreciate a comment on socials. Just go to my page. I've put on today's session as a video 2 days ago. Thank you so much, Steph. But just put a comment on and just say what you love, what you did. If you didn't, of course, you don't have to, right? You didn't get any value from today. But as always, guys, we're here to help with anything that you need. Just do a stop share. We'll get everyone there. Any final comments? Any big takeaways, anything anyone's going to implement, any light bulb moment, and please don't leave me. Don't leave me hanging, as they say. But yeah, so any implementations that you're going to do from today's session? I used to do that.
Can't wait to get stuck into that book, Manos. It looks unreal.
Yeah, thank you. And David, you're instrumental. I've got it into 10 chapters, right? I've totally pulled it apart. So it's mapping out the next month. It's fantastic. So, and of course, bringing the workbooks out of it, like your prospecting schedule and the hustle workbook, and of course the 28-day assistant planner. So again, no one's expecting guys to do this properly. You probably need a whole week. Just get the fundamentals happening to get it all to get it all done. So yeah, but again, as I started this session, I absolutely value the time that you give up to come to these sessions, and I want to make sure that when you do, that you actually get some actionable takeaways that can just have a little needle mover in your business. So from me and the whole team of Blacksalt, and if you can put it in the socials, this graphics team's amazing. That'll be really, really good. Just to give them a big thank you too, because they have worked relentlessly to get these workbooks up to speed. This was our second Blacksalt in 12 months. So you can imagine how much work these guys and girls were doing. So I really, really appreciate it. Next year's Blacksalt, as I said, second week of December of next year. Lock it in your diary. If you want a trip to Greece and you want a little bit of a tax deduction on a legal tax deduction on it, Live It Up conference in Crete 2026 in June, first or second week there. Yeah, and you can reach out to ask more info. Arthur, over to you.
I was going to say you're too modest, mate. We made Training and Education Program of the Year finalist, Manos. Well done to you and the team.
Yes, of course we did.
That's, yeah, a little brag time there. Wasn't your personal best today, Manos. Only 4 shameless plugs, but you can do better next time. And I'm so proud of you. You never mentioned Tom Panos once.
Yes, I did. Didn't I?
I don't think so, mate. I'll watch it all back again.
Good on you.
But anyway, in saying that, Tom's got 2 sessions next week at the W Hotel for us at Blacksalt. Can't wait to see you all there.
Yeah.
We'll be up the front and firing. It'll be a great session. Manos on the Zoom this morning with Fiona Blaney, and trust me, she's getting new batteries put in for next week. She'll be raring to go.
Yeah. Love it. Yeah,
fantastic.
Really,
thanks everyone for your time today.
It's going to be great. Thank you, guys. Reach out if you need anything, and look forward to obviously seeing you in person, and or hopefully you can tune in on the virtual sessions. All right, be good.